As you've heard, my name is Nomfundo Ndumndum, and what I didn't include in my bio is that I'm a proud mother of two very wonderful human beings that are seated right there, that I dragged today because they thought this was not relevant to their lives. But many years ago, when I met up with a friend of mine who we went to high school together with, talking about our young, gifted, and black lives. And she said to me, "So friend, what is the plan?" I had just dropped out of university in my third year, in second semester, and got a job opportunity in Joburg in a production company. And I was excited about this opportunity, but she was not. In that conversation, she was very concerned for my life because it seemed like I was vying off the script. My life was now unscripted, as she said, in that connection that I thought I was excited about to share my new journey with my friend. She called me unscripted. I was so fearful. It bothered me that now my life that I thought was this beautiful life and I'd so perfectly curated and I was on a path to success had become this unscripted life. Needless to say, I started to have such negative conversations with myself because fear was steeping in and I was starting to feel like, what on earth have I done? Where am I going? And I'm definitely destined for doom and gloom. I didn't know that this unscripted life that I was starting was actually the path to my real life. Because there's a script, right? You go to school, well, you're born, you're a happy child, you go to school, you get a career, you graduate, and you succeed. And somewhere along the line there, you need to meet the love of your life and have a happily ever after and bring forth the next generation. That's the script. And sometimes that is not how life works. And we all need to start telling the stories of the unscripted lives so that as people travel through their lives, they become comfortable with the discomfort of stories that don't knit together perfectly. And the more we tell the stories, the more we'll dispel the fear, the more we will give young people an opportunity to exist in their in-betweens. Because in-betweens are a reality, right? The places where you're moving from what you want to be to where you're going. There's an in-between there. There's failure, there's uncertainty, there's loss, there's life. Because life is tricky. Okay, perfect people. Life is tricky. Life is tricky, especially when you're navigating life with human beings. I call it the beginning, where when you come into the world, you're born into a family, you're born into a life, people who existed before you. And what we don't realize, even as parents or as grown-ups, is that the world is broken. And the brokenness of the world breeds brokenness in people. And so even when you're trying your best as a parent, and I can see there are parents here, you need to have grace with yourself and with your children, because you need to realize that no matter how much you pour into your children, their lives are scripted for themselves and not necessarily the script that you might hold or the script that you might give them in hand to go forward in life with. And so you need to realize that as a parent, while you are giving your children skills and you are grooming them to become something, you need to give them room and grace to fail. And also young people need to give themselves grace and room to become who they're supposed to be. I discovered on this path of the unscripted path, as my friend called me, that when you are walking an unscripted path, it's an opportunity for growth. When you're walking a path that you did not prepare for, you're growing because you are tapping into places of yourself that you didn't know that you needed, but are very vital and important for the path that you're going on and becoming the person that you're supposed to become. I learned this as I unraveled in my unscripted life, that I need to learn to dance in the rain because life will give me seasons that I was not prepared for. And sometimes it rains, and sometimes it's sunshine, and beautiful things happen in my life, but sometimes it rains. And what I do with that is very important, because it grows me. It makes me who I'm supposed to be, because it's moments where it's not scripted, but I stretch. When the rain, you go undercover and you learn to run. You learn to do things that you didn't imagine yourself doing, simply because that is just the season that you're in. And also, in scripted life, I learned that seasons exist for a reason. And if season year then is different from the next, then life is definitely going to change. There's trees sometimes that are full of leaves and they're green, and those same trees are bare, they are naked, because that's the seasons of their life. And the most important thing I think myself that I could take away from my unscripted life, because I'm living it even now, is that we need to learn how to live in seasons of uncertainty more than we need to be prepared for a particular goal or a path. We need to learn to walk through our lives with a hope and an outlook that says, no matter what happens, I'm equipped to walk the path. You need to give children or young people a skill to walk through life without fearing the unknown. And an unscripted life is embracing all the different waxing and waning of life, the colorful in-betweens of life, being able to say, this is what I'm confronted with. I'm going to embrace it. I'm going to try and figure it out. It's not going to break me. I'm not going to allow it to change anything that will propel me, but I'm going to embrace it and allow it to teach me to get to where I need to get to. And sometimes we're all so rigid in the script. Everybody wants to get on stage, perform to a full auditorium, and get a standing ovation and exit stage left and be successful. But that's not life. Life seldomly works that way. And we need to start telling the stories of how life doesn't work perfectly, so that those who are in imperfect situations begin to be comfortable with the discomfort and pursue areas that might be challenging with a little bit more confidence. And an unscripted life is that very opportunity. Stepping into something that you had not prepared for, but allowing yourself to go through it, because it'll change you, it'll grow you, it'll make you become who you're supposed to be. It's an opportunity to carve out a voice for yourself and be able to open yourself up in deep, deep places, because there's depth in all of us. And when we're walking on a scripted path, we just know what we know, and we never expand beyond what we know. And in an unscripted environment, an unscripted life, we're able to stretch. We're able to move beyond the places that we thought we could. And so in my unscripted life, I learned that it's okay. I'll be okay. And be comfortable with how the path goes. Yes, there's room for preparation. Yes, there's room for having a dream and dreaming and visioning things. But also, let's talk about the uncharted waters, the paths less traveled, so that those who are in paths less traveled don't feel like they're out of place, don't feel like they're doing something wrong. Whereas that's just how life is. Life just takes you where it's supposed to be, to go, and you end up where you're supposed to be, through all the learnings, through all the chapters of unknowns that come along, and curveballs, and the colorful things that you did not prepare for, the beautiful things that come out of you being in uncomfortable spaces. Let's all embrace the unscripted lives. And I'm not saying, I know parents are like, what on earth? No. Let's try navigate life, knowing that life and our paths are unscripted, so that we allow people to become who they're destined to be. Thank you.